Hey guys, Taylor here from Simply Betta. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about Betta Mahachai. I'll be unboxing a Betta Mahachai that's coming from Kasha from Creative Pet Keeping. Then I'll be showing some footage of my own and their spawns, and also taking a current spawn and moving it to a new tank, so it's going to be a whole big adventure today, just doing my chores. So my friend Kasha from Creative Pet Keeping and I have swapped fish. We decided to swap some females before the weather got a little bit too cold for shipping. Why? Because we had extra females and we were like, hey, let's swap. So by the time I release this video, this will have been like maybe about a month ago or so, I think. So why did we swap? Sometimes it's good just to have some new blood. I've had my spawns going for a little while now, so I'm happy to get this little female. And I'm happy to give a female because I had a whole lot of extras. And right now I think I have like maybe six or eight extra females just sitting in a tank right now that are lonely and they don't have boyfriends. And that's just tragic. So I was gonna start this video by going through my entire process on how I get a fish ready for shipment. My whole packing process and how I check the weather, but things don't always go to plan. I was in such a frantic hurry that morning that I was trying to make a nice video on how I ship fish, and it ended up being the worst video I have ever tried to make. Ever. I was sick, I was coughing, my voice was raspy, my camera was out of focus, I was pointing it the wrong way, I was blocking shots, I wasn't showing what I was doing well, I wasn't explaining what I was doing well, my baby was being fussy, I had to pick up my kid from preschool, it was awful. So this is officially the worst video I've ever made in my life. I was just in like such stressful, bad hurry. You know, mom hurries. Because of that, I'm not gonna show the shipping process. I canceled that. I'm just gonna start by showing my unboxing from Kasha of Creative Pet Keeping and go from there. I got the box from Creative Pet Keeping and I was all excited. This made my day. The fish was packed well and arrived really nicely and looked really healthy, and Kasha also included this little baggie of food as like a little surprise. It's a homemade fish food. Captain Bob's fish food made out of black soldier fly larvae, which I thought was pretty cool. And I'm totally gonna try feeding this in the fish room and see what my fish think about it. The Betta Mahachai looked pretty well. She was swimming around, no problem. I didn't feel worried about her at all. I went ahead and I put her in a jar as like a little quarantine period and a place for her to grow out and get a little bit bigger, because this was definitely like a little juvenile Mahachai. So the fish is great and healthy, and this is footage of her now. This beautiful little female actually ended up being a beautiful little male, which I kind of feel bad for because we were only supposed to trade females, and I took one of her males. Oops. In Kasha's defense, sometimes it's hard to tell whether a fish is male or female when they're so small. Betta Mahachai or Betta mahachaiensis are a beautiful little species of wild betta. They're only the third wild species that I've ever kept. Smaragdina guitar and macrostoma being the first two. I think they're exceptionally pretty. Exceptionally. And this is coming from somebody who mainly likes domestics and the pretty colors, you know, on domestic betta fish, but I think Betta Mahachai are just gorgeous. This pair is in a tank that I made a walkthrough video about a few videos ago. How I made it from start to finish, this nice little planted tank. I'll add a link. I put these fish in these little planted tanks mainly for photography purposes. I wanted to leave them in there maybe for like a day to get really comfy and settled in, and I wanted to get some pretty shots of just the beautiful colors and how fantastic they looked. But these are, you know, pretty healthy fish. I put them in and pretty much they immediately began spawning, which, yeah, I'm not too sad about. I'm happy to get a little spawn out of these beautiful little fish. Normally when I spawn these fish, I have them in a dedicated spawning tank that's set up a little bit differently, and I have a lower water level than what's shown here. I wasn't about to lower the water level and kill some of my plants, my precious plants. I added a little piece of bubble wrap in the corner to help contain their nest, and I let them do their thing. Both of these males were very dedicated dads. Just like domestic betta fish, the male keeps the eggs in his bubble nest and tends to them very diligently. He catches the developing fry if they fall out of the nest, So you'll see him here just scooping up those little developing babies and bringing them back up and popping them back into the bubble nest. It is a constant job. Constant! Wild bettas are pretty slow growing, so here's what the fry look like 3 months later. Fun to watch and fun to feed. At this point, I'm feeding a variety of foods like baby brine shrimp, grindle worms, white worms, frozen bloodworms, rapashi, soaked pellets. They're eating pretty much anything. Another month later, they've grown quite a bit, and it's time to get these guys out of these small tanks and into larger tanks to finish growing. And that's what I'll be doing today. I'm in my fish room now. It's a little bit loud in here, but I'm going to be taking the baby Betta Mahachai out of these little 5-gallon tanks where they've been and put them in the bigger tank. And the first step, obviously, is to catch them. How can I very gently, very safely catch them all? It might take a little while. Luckily, they're pretty tame. They come to the front expecting food, so I think I'll be able to scoop them up with a net. I don't think I'm going to film it because who knows how long it's going to take to get all of these little babies. But they're going to go to their new home now. Over the course of a day or so, I slowly caught all the little babies out of here. It really wasn't that hard. And then as I'd catch them, I'd get about 12 at a time, and then I'd put them in this little plastic cup. I'd put them in their new tank to acclimate, just to temperature, and then I'd just pour them out. I counted 40 little babies, so I have 40 Betta Mahachai babies just growing out in this tank. It's not the most beautiful tank, but I like all the plants in there. There's lots of places for these little fish to swim around and hide and grow. And we'll just see how fast they grow now. This will be their home now until I have to separate out the males. Thanks so much for watching, guys. What do you think of this little species? Drop a comment down below, and I'll see you next time.